Good morning. I'm Paul Bauer. Welcome to Capital Marketing Solutions Marketing Magic Workshop. Combine two key elements, education and experience, with equal parts of humor and empathy, and you can create a blend that has made Barney Zick one of the most sought-after corporate marketing consultants in the corporate world today. Barney is an innovative, think-on-his-feet problem solver who can show you dozens of marketing opportunities you may have overlooked. He is a humorous and creative negotiator who will share lessons learned through his millions of dollars of business and investment deals. Barney's first presentation today is entitled, Why Should I Do Business With You? How to Discover Your Unique Selling Proposition. Please join me in a warm welcome for Barney Zick.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. It's great to be here this morning. The concepts that we're going to share with you can be utilized in all aspects of your business. Everything from if you're in the seminar business, if you're in the radio business, if you're in the television business, or if you're running a shoe store or a multi-billion-dollar corporation, because the principles that we're going to be talking about are very universal principles that more or less permeate everything that you do. We're going to be talking about how to build a bottom line in a price-competitive world. That's the concept. We're going to be talking about what makes you unique. We're going to give you all the aspects of business concepts that I think are not only building blocks, but when you go back to figure out how do I rebuild what I've been doing before, every time you focus on this, you get more momentum in your business. Now, there's a great story of a guy who came to St. Peter's Gate, and he said to St. Peter, do I get in? And he says, well, actually, you have a choice. You can go to heaven or hell. And he says, well, what's this? He says, well, you know, the devil has so many lawyers down there, we're constantly getting sued. And so they said we had an unfair advantage. So what we're going to do is, from now on out, to settle the suit, everybody has a chance to go down and look at hell. If they have a chance to go to heaven, you can take your choice. Then you sign off. And then we've made them happy this way. We've been doing it for a couple of weeks now. And he says, okay, show me through. So he shows him around heaven. It was nice. It was clean. And there was good, healthy food to eat, you know, and there was music playing in the background, and there was well-lit park benches for everybody to read books at, and so on and so forth. So then he got in the elevator and he went down to hell. And oh, it was party time. Everybody was having an absolute ball down there. They're playing his most favorite music. There were 3 times more women than there were men, and all the women thought his jokes were funny. So he was having a ball. Snack foods, his favorite junk foods, but they had no calorie, no fat in them. It was unbelievable. He came up that next morning, partied all night, and came to St. Peter, and he says, St. Peter, he says, this has been quite an experience. I can't believe it. I'm going to hell. Sign me off. Where do I write? I've never had so much fun. St. Peter said, they must be having a new marketing consultant down there, because we've been losing a lot of them. But anyway, he signed him off, sent him back in the elevator. He gets out, and it's hot, and it's dank, and it's terrible. Nobody's comfortable. Nobody's comfortable. And all there is a bunch of guys walking around, oh, aches and pains, and it's stinky, and there's no music, and there's no pretty ladies, and everything else. And he finally goes around and finds the devil. He says to the devil, he says, what's going on here? Last night there was so much fun. There was party, there was music, there's ladies, it was great. He says, hey, yesterday you were a prospect. Now you're a customer. And a big portion of what we're going to be talking about, a big portion of the focus that we're going to be involved in is a customer focus. And something that I've always believed in, that you'll find will permeate everything that we're going to be talking about, is focusing on the customer. Focusing on the customer as having a lifelong relationship with that customer and what that can mean to you and can mean to your bottom line. So the concepts that we're going to be sharing with you are broken into 7 parts, and the 7 parts start out with marketing insight number 1. It's not about you. It's about your customers. It's not about you. It's about your customers. And I'm a big believer in customer and client-centered marketing and sales. Now, where do you use this? You use this in absolutely, positively everything that you do. You use this in your sales letters, in your presentations, in your negotiations, in your marketing materials. Everything you do needs to be customer-centered. To give you an example of this, there was a think tank group, and they really started out as a group from Brigham Young University of professors, English professors. Eventually it became a separate corporation. I did some work with them, and then they got bought out by Franklin, which became Franklin Quest, which is now a listed company. But their think tank group was brought in to solve business problems, especially that related to written communications. And this was a cross-disciplinary group between marketing and English, basically. And one of the challenges they had, and I don't remember who it was, I think it was McDonnell Douglas, but it could have been Boeing, but it's one of the big companies that do an awful lot of government work on selling huge equipment to the government, but it's one of those two. And they said, how do we increase the number of bids that we get accepted? Tell us what we're doing wrong in our communications. And I'll give you one of the linchpins that made all the difference in their success. And it's something that you can do. They took their proposals, actually proposals. Remember, I've worked with government proposals. I actually wrote a course one time on how to win government proposals. Another lesson in futility. Well, I learned the lesson that just because everybody says they want the course doesn't mean A, they're going to buy it, and B, you can find out where they are to sell it to them. Learned this early on in my career, thank God. So, but they took the proposals and they went through and circled in red the I's, the we's, the name of the company, the people that were in charge working for them, and anything else. Went through and used green to circle all the you, the government, the person that was the buyer, and so on and so forth, and they counted them. And they literally counted them. And basically, if you won, you lost. If you won, you lost. You say, well, wait a minute. These are written proposals going to the government in a very, very stringent format. It doesn't make any difference. What people want to hear about is they want to hear about themselves. And when people hear you talking, and when they hear you talking, they hear you talking more about yourself than talking about them, guess where they know you're centered? Now, if you are a professional speaker, we have a real cross to bear here, because you probably have a swollen ego that you wouldn't be a professional speaker, or a hole in your ego, whichever way you want to put it. I mean, we could get into psychology here quite quickly, but the ego is a very necessary part of every individual. But it's supposed to be, like the kidney or the heart. It's not supposed to be the entire body with everything else hanging underneath it. And I found that speakers tend to go through 3 stages. The first stage, and there's 2 kinds of speakers, but most speakers fit in the first category. Category 1 speaker, you go through 3 stages. And the first stage is, look at me, I'm up here. And the most important thing to you is the fact that the audience is out there. The second stage is, I have something to say and you will listen. All of a sudden they get to the message stage. And many speakers are stuck in the message stage, and that's just fine if they get a good message. If they don't have a good message,